I found this at an estate sale. The gear counts from 1 to 31 and spins if the pointed bolt rotates. The guy that I bought it from had no idea what it was either. It was dirty and old, but I polished it. I keep it on my desk and use it as a fidget toy. The numbering from 1 to 31 suggests it has a calendar function. What is this thing? It's a tachometer from the late 19th century. It's a speed indicator used to measure RPMs. Held the point against the end of a turning piece for a minute, and the dial told you how many RPMs. What is this tool I found in an antique store? The staff said it's a leather crafting tool, but she said she's not sure. My initial guess would be a meat tenderizer. There is a really wide variety of meat tenderizer designs for some reason. Could it really be for leather making? It's a fish scaler from the 1910s. The rough surface of this metal tool can be run against a fish to scrape the scales off. If you are doing a lot of fishing, a scaler like this could be very useful. It is much more effective than using a knife. Can anyone tell me what this wooden thing is? I found this at a yard sale. I think it's Danish with no nails or screws. Possibly a globe stand or just a stand of some sort, but looking for more details. Thanks in advance. It's a Victorian baby walker. A child would be suspended in the center in a sort of cloth seat that buttons onto the circular frame. It allows a child to toddle around and prevents them from falling over or bumping into anything. What is this kinda tool of some sort? We think it's from the 1920s. My uncle received this from his great uncle in Mexico. He is wondering what it is. Any ideas? It's a ball-headed club from the late 18th century. For more than 200 to 300 years, they were associated with many different American Indian peoples of the Northeast and Great Lakes region. Several of the clubs appear in portraits of distinguished Europeans, particularly during the 18th century. By the 19th century, they were becoming obsolete as pipe tomahawks gained preference. This club would have been a formidable weapon in the hands of its warrior owner. When a club was successful, reports say, it was left beside the body of its victim. What is this thing I found in my late great-grandmother's house with my name written on it? Because she wanted me to have it. I have no clue what it is. The base is hollow the whole way across, and the bottom says made in Japan. I thought maybe some kind of jewelry tray or ashtray. It's a little creepy. What is it for? It's a clown pin cushion and lusterware, made in Japan from the 1940s to 50s. It's missing a cushion. Sewing pins and needles are stored on the cushion of this cute statue. It keeps the pins safely out of the way, while still looking great on the mantle. What is this small shelf with 2 compartments in the bathroom? The house was built in 1948. This is above the TP holder, and you'd face this if you're sitting on the toilet. The tiles are original. It's in the tiles and it's one solid piece, found in the Southeast United States. What is this thing for? It's a built-in ashtray and cigarette holder, missing the little ashtray thing you put the ashes in for easy cleanup. My parents' house has these, also in the Southeast US. What is this coffee cup key for an old Samsung PC keyboard? I'm in an Airbnb in beautiful Portugal, and this discarded old keyboard is by the homeowner's PC. Any ideas? It activates the screensaver to prevent screen burn-in. Old screens tend to have their coating literally burned by the cathode ray, meaning a permanent discoloration of areas on a display in an old computer monitor. If it had the same image displayed for too long, it isn't really much of an issue anymore, because most monitors will go into sleep mode or something to prevent it. Hence the name screensaver. What is this thing I found in my great-grandfather's toolbox? He lived in DeGiorgio, California, and his dad was the foreman for the big farm out there. These pieces have U-shaped blades riveted to a piece of leather. It has a belt or a strap on it, and the writing says Dr. S. Robinson, Fresno, California. Since it is patented by a doctor, my guess is a splint for a broken big toe or thumb. Any idea what is it for? It's a grape stem cutter used to cut bunches of grapes, patented June 26, 1951. This device looks pretty confusing. However, it allows you to pick a lot of grapes very rapidly using a twisting motion. I found this spoon with a bunch of assorted items at my grandparents' old stuff. It's a half spoon with a dividing wall on the inside. Nobody at the house seems to know what it's used for. Any ideas? It's a medicine spoon. It was produced by Debatville and Company in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and patented on January 24, 1905. This spoon would have been used as part of a home first aid kit during that era. My grandparents had one of these and always joked that my grandfather made it, so my grandmother would lose weight. What is this thing I found in my storeroom? I have no idea what it's for. The bottom is approximately 16 inches in diameter, with formed jaws and springs inside it, and it has two handles on top. Any ideas? It's a manual lug closing tool. This closing tool is steel for heavier gauge U and type pails. Just place the tool over the top of the cover, push down on the twin handles, and the malleable iron jaws crimp all the lugs at once. What is this thing I found when moving? Nicely made wooden box with a small clock in the lid and leather on the top. My first thought is for a card game of some sort. Any ideas? I have seen these before, and I believe they are an old desk organization accessory. The smaller cubbies should be sized for business cards, the larger for standard envelopes, if I remember correctly. What is this odd oil lamp with a canister and no markings? It's fairly heavy, and I think the brackets appear brass. It has a wall mount, so it can taken down and carried. All of the wall oil lamps I see on Google don't have the replacement cartridge. What is it for? This is known as a student oil lamp. The canister is an oil reservoir. By putting the reservoir on the side, the lamp would balance better, and it reduced the shadow that would have been cast by the bottom of the lamp if it maintained the more traditional design. What is this, some kind of instrument? When shaken it makes a noise like it's filled with beads. The handle is made of wood, but it's difficult to tell what the head is made of. My uncle got it at the Salvation Army, but we don't know where it's from originally. I'm interested in where it's from. Any ideas? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.